Hey there, and welcome back to Learn From Me, sis, the space where we tell the truth even when it hurts. I'm Christina Jade, and this is episode 2. I was his forever jump off, and I let it happen again. Today, I'm talking about the role I kept playing over and over. The one where I thought if I just held on long enough, we'd finally get it right. The timing was never in sync. When he was ready, I was scared. And when I was finally ready, he wasn't. I wasn't chosen. But I also wasn't choosing myself. This episode is for every woman who's ever confused emotional history with a future and almost lost herself in the process. So let's talk about it. It took me a long time to admit that I wasn't just a victim in this story. I was also I was also a willing participant in the cycle. There was a time he was ready, but I had my walls up so high he couldn't reach me. And then when I finally opened up, ready to love out loud, he was already emotionally checked out. The timing never aligned, but I kept trying to get what I wanted, and that was a relationship with him. And that wasn't mutual anymore. I was still showing up, still hoping to prove I was loyal enough because I was, duh. And of course, I was being real enough with him. Worth the risk, baby, ultimate package. But the truth, I was holding on to what could have been, not what was. And I was sacrificing my peace and my standards to stay in something that had already ran its course. So today, I want to unpack what it looks like to stay too long, to ignore the disconnect, and to learn the lessons even when your heart still wants the fairy tale. So, this man. Ian and I met through an acquaintance, I would say. I used to work with this chick. She gave me his number because I was looking for some weed. I was in nursing school and I went to his house after school. And, he lived in these one apartments that was literally like 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes from my school. So it was like, yes, I got a new connect. There's no such thing as having too many connects. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need multiple just in case that one doesn't answer and then that one doesn't answer. Oh, wait. You gotta have a Rolodex for the Mary Jane. Unless you live in a state that is legal. But Florida isn't legal, and at the time I didn't have a medicinal card. So I met him. He answered the door. He was like, "Oh, I don't really remember what he said, so let me not even fucking try to bullshit, y'all." But like, it was funny because he was expecting some fucking white bitch, he told me. And I was like, no, I'm not white. My name is Christina. We were talking about the same person, but I guess the chick was white. So, irregardless, he was like, okay, cool, let me hit up the connect. I didn't think you were going to get here that quick. And I'm like, oh yeah, bet, no worries. He was like, oh, I'm about to roll up. You want to smoke? And so, like, we're smoking and we're talking. And it's just like, I don't even understand, sis. Like, I've I've never been so comfortable next to another human being that I just met. That's the takeaway. I just met him. Why am I feeling like I've known you for my whole entire life? So we're just talking about multiple different things, like, which was another thing that I liked because we went all over the place. Where we went, I cried in front of him. The very first time I met this man, and he still called me. He still was showing interest in me. And not only am I crying in front of him, I'm literally crying to him about something about my kid's father. Like, something happened, which is why I was trying to get the weed, because I was so annoyed and I knew I had to go home and I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to fight. And so, like, and he was just listening, and it was, I don't, the vibes were vibing, sis. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. The vibes were vibing. I leave, we exchange numbers, and boom, for like the next several months, we are just like hanging out. And I would like, it was a routine of mine. Like, be a mom, be a student, get dick down, and repeat. Be a mom, be a student, then get dick down. And it was the dick down portion. Oh my god. It was a highlight. It was a highlight. Oh my gosh. Like, I've never had a sexual experience like that first time with him. And it's like, I was honestly waiting for like the sex not to be good eventually. Can you really keep this up like this? I'm talking about, like, you just made me waterfall everywhere. You exploded, and then you run it back? Like, no pause, but you can run it back, baby? That is like French kiss. Like, oh, yeah. Okay. This is not, we don't need to go down that path, Christina Jade. Like, keep it moving. So, we stopped talking that first time. We had a drunken filled, and drugged filled night, which turned into a fight in the morning. I do want to say, I'm not talking about like Bobby and Whitney, okay? I'm talking about some alcohol, yes. Drugs, yes. But psychedelics, okay? I'm all about the psychedelics, or, natural greenery. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. So, whatever. We are having a debate. Like, that's one thing that I admired about us, that like we could pretty much talk about anything. However, we were getting in a debate. Definitely, was there a miscommunication? Maybe. No, there wasn't a miscommunication. I take that back. Fuck that. Fuck that. There wasn't a miscommunication. The thing about Ian sometimes is that, oh, he'll just say shit. Like, it just comes out of his mouth with no fucking filter. And, I'm still getting to know you. So I didn't pick that up when I did. And I'm not saying like he's like one of those persons that like, oh, he just says shit, but like he's really trying to like antagonize you. No, I'm saying that he just says shit because he's a fucking asshole. And he doesn't really fucking mean it. Nobody's fucking perfect. I will say that Ian is a Cancer, and if any of you have cancers in your life, you know that is a Cancer way to fucking act. So, we're arguing or debating. It wasn't even an argument. He has only raised his voice at me one time in the 5 years I've known him. So we're debating, And like, I'm like, yo, I can't do this. I'm about to leave. And then he's like, if you leave, like, don't fucking call me again. Oh, excuse them, what? You want to give me an ultimatum? Okay, that's cool. So I left. You don't have to tell me twice. Did I really want to leave? No. Did I regret it as soon as I closed the door? Yes. Was I being a little fucking stubborn brat? Hell yeah, sis. Yes, I was. And I didn't turn around. I didn't call him later. I didn't give in, even though I wanted to, because I knew then how I felt about him. I knew that, like, damn, this is no longer just a jump off situation for me. And I almost, within seconds, thought, well, I'm glad that's over. Because no, hell no. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready then. So, round number 2. I graduated nursing school at this point. I'm working as a nurse. Hit him up one day. It is Christmas Eve. And of course, I'm looking for weed. And we are talking on IG. And Ian and I are just like catching up. And he was like, yeah, come get the weed. Are you gonna smoke with me? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. And then again, that's all she wrote, sis. I was hook, line, and sinker. And this time it was different. We were definitely going in the direction of a relationship, like boyfriend, girlfriend, no more bullshit. And at one point, I could see myself going in that direction. And then conversations started to go around, like, how are the kids going to meet? And I was getting my mind around him meeting my kids. I will say this, I wish you could just date and not have to involve kids. Because it's like, bro, like, what do my kids have to do with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? But then it's like, this is how you find a father, a stepfather. Like, he has to be involved with your kids. Once it was like, oh, well, we can meet at the park, and then I can be like, oh, hey, Christina, fancy meeting you here. Look, I have my son, and you can have your kids. I'm like, oh, yeah, that would be funny. And then, like, change the subject real quick. And then, so at that time, I was working in a nursing home. I felt confident as in, like, the day to day basic nursing responsibilities with, like, actually touching a human being and not a mannequin, because nursing school was lame as fuck thanks to COVID. And I was a CNA before that, so, like, you can't I can't give somebody blood as a CNA. Like, the most I've done as a CNA is, like, insert a Foley or a finger stick. So I really wanted to be prepared before I'm going into the hospital and then expecting to learn the basics, because yes, I learn every day I'm in the hospital and going to work, which I love. It is amazing. I love to learn. You gotta stimulate your mind, sis. You have to. So I was applied to a level 1 trauma center trying to get into the ICU. Had a lame ass interview. Actually, like, the interview went really great. Her excuse was lame as fuck. But I'm gonna save that for another podcast because baby, the way these people be trying to play us is, ooh, you really you that's a lesson. That's a lesson to come. I got a job in the progressive care unit, and they were telling me like everything that I would have to be doing, and it seemed like a lot because I was also trying to just like go back to school to get my bachelor's. So I solved all of those things. And the fact that I knew that I would be like working like a maniac because it was more money than what I was getting in the nursing home. And my kids were just about to get out of school, so that meant that mama was gonna work like a dog. Um, I used all of that and put it in a box and tied it with a ribbon, and I gave it to Ian, and I said, so I think I'm just gonna be too busy, and I really don't think that this is gonna work out anymore. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna skedaddle. Peace out. It's so not funny because I was running. I was running, sis. I was running like a little bitch. Running scared. And you know what that got me? That got me, I think that was the longest we did not talk. We didn't talk for like 2 years. He was big time pissed at me. Big time pissed. So, didn't talk for 2 years. Hit him up randomly again for weed. And that dick. But really, it was just the dick. I meant to say it was really just the weed. Hey, that third time was definitely just straight up jump off mentality. Like, he knew what it was, I knew what it was. No questions asked. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Actually, like, what is really sweet because it's like at the end of the day, there is some type of friendship foundation that we have because, like, it always went the same way. We would have sex, we would smoke, and while we're smoking, we would talk. It was like we were each other's counselors. And honestly, it was good until it wasn't because that time around that we stopped talking, he called me on my birthday. My birthday, I just came back from Rhode Island after I was my grandmother's hospice nurse, and I facilitated her transition, and I was there every step of the way. My grandmother is my fucking heart. That is the one person that I knew growing up that would always be on my side. Meaning, like, support. Like, hey, Christina Jane's graduating. Let me make sure I'm at her graduation. You know, things like that. And I just came back, and it was my birthday. I'll never forget this motherfucker. He calls me up, and he's like, hey, do you have a washing machine to dry? I said, excuse me? Don't you know it was my birthday? He was like, yeah, and I figured that, like, I could come over there and wash my clothes and we could smoke and fuck. And I hung up on him, and that was the end of that. God, I wanted to fucking choke the shit out of him. Like, one thing about me, I am all about my birthday. My birthday is the one day out of 365 days that I can be selfish. It is the one day of the year that shit, it should be about me. Like, if all the other days aren't about me, cool, fine, whatever. At least let my birthday be about me. And you couldn't do that, and you know how I feel. Okay. I didn't talk to him. I did not talk to him until this last go around. I hit him up looking for weed. No. Yes. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. back in October 2024. I never ended up getting the weed at that time because I found it elsewhere. But I did invite him to my Halloween party that I had. He did not come. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But I also knew that he had a baby. Yes. Yes, guys. Ian had a baby. The time before my birthday, when I ended everything and I used the excuse of my job, he was going on Facebook dating and like dating other people. Cool, whatever. And eventually he meets this one chick that he was, I guess, basically like settling for. And that's his words, not mine. He told me how a homegirl was all like, hey, like, I can't get pregnant. And when we were hanging out that first time, I was just like, but like, you didn't ask her like any follow up questions? Like, I've told you I can't get pregnant. And then I said, because my tubes are tied. So, shit happens when you're out there digging down other fucking bitches without protection, Ian. These are the consequences. Now you have a baby at the age of 40. Bravo. Oh, God, my life. My life, my life. We're hanging out, and again, it's like no time has passed. He is not with this kid's mother. Yet again, I am involving myself with him while he's living with an ex and the mother of his child. He already told me that he had certain things that he wasn't going to cross because even though that they're not together, he's not trying to be disrespectful. And I get it because that's who he is. He has integrity. He has respect for other people. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I totally understand that. One of the things that he says, like, oh, like, you can't be in the house. Okay. And you definitely can't be in the room. Okay. And you definitely can't be in the bed. Okay. And like I won't use the car to come see you. Okay. And you can't go in the car. Okay. Like, Ian, I don't like, okay, these things are fine. Like, we are just having a good time. We are just vibing. But you're lying out your ass because in a matter of days, I was in the house. In a matter of days, I was in that bed. Spreading bodily fluids all over his bed. Because he made a point for me to know, like, no, that's my bed. I bought that bed. I'm like, okay. And he would change the sheets when I would come. And it's like, I would already know what time it is. He would just get up, won't even say anything. And then he would look back at me. He was like rolling his eyes with his cute little bald head. We went on a date one night. We went to Cooper Hawk's restaurant. And I decided it was time. It was time for me to put on my big girl panties and let him know what was real. And stop fucking bullshitting. Get what I want and express what I want. And I was fucking nervous, sis. That was the first time he's really made me nervous. And it wasn't even him. It was just what I was about to say. And I am one corny fucking person. And I absolutely love it. Because we are at the restaurant and like the vibe is okay. I know he could sense like something was up with me. And I made it a point to say, okay, so before we like continue our date, pretend that these are the cards and I'm shuffling them. And now I'm laying them all on the table. And I'm literally doing it. Like, I'm literally shuffling a pretend deck of my heart and all the things that I like about him and where I can see us going. And I'm putting it in front of him. And I tell him how I feel. I tell him how that last serious time I was running scared. It scared me. But like, I'm here. I want this. I want him. I want us to be happy together. I want us to be a little blended family. I I just want him and I'm ready. So like, you know, take the time that you need because I know you're gonna need time. Like, you're gonna need to like dissect it in your fucking big beautiful brain, and that's cool. But I needed to let you know. So once I was done with my little speech of fucking pick me, choose me, love me, I was like, now we can get back to our date. And I was completely fine after that. We finished the date, and it's great. Then, he takes some time and he reaches out and he explains to me that although he agrees with everything that I was saying, right now he really needs to focus on his son. And for him, he wants to make sure like he's doing everything that he did with his other son, meaning living in the house, being there on a daily basis, making sure that the education is on point. Because when I tell you, baby, he is a great father. He is a great father. The oldest child and my daughter, my youngest daughter, are the same age. And when I met him, he was 3. And he was doing addition, subtraction, multiplication. I want to say maybe at some point he was going to start on long division. And then it was also like spelling. And it was just amazing. And reading, of course. It was just so great. And it wasn't something that was just like, ooh, Christina's here, let me put on. No, like, it wasn't. He doesn't give a fuck about me when it comes to his kids. And that is sexy as fuck. So I understood what he was saying. Um, so after him expressing that, there was a sliver of hope because, I mean, at the end of the day, we are saying that we can't be together because you need to live at home with the baby and the baby needs his mom too. And, I've already made it very clear that I'm not going to be in a relationship with somebody else who is sleeping in the bed with another girl. So we were kind of at a standstill. And I respect that. And I understood that. And oh, I wish that's when I would have really just cut that cord and left him alone. But I didn't. This is what I mean. I was an active and willing participant in this cycle that we were on. Things that are transpiring in Ian's personal life that I won't go into, but due to that, there was a sliver of hope that maybe I would get what I want. And what I wanted was him. And to not just him, but to be in a relationship. And okay, cool. You said that you can offer that at this time. I thought I was doing the right thing and I was gonna move on. But then, sis, I did the bad thing and I asked him, give me one night where we are fully committed to one another and we are just loving one another with no restraints for a whole night. where I get to sleep next to you and I get to wake up next to you. And he gave it to me. And we got an Airbnb and it was a bomb. I got the mushroom gummies, got some champagne, and we were in the hot tub, and it was just a fucking vibe. If there was ever a time that I should start an OnlyFans, that would have been the perfect opportunity because, sis, it was so amazing. It was literally, we went out in a bang, and that's how we should have ended it. And that's what we agreed on. We were gonna just leave that day. We were gonna go our separate ways. That's not what happened. That happened in the beginning of February. And the last time I actually saw him, hung out with him, was the week of May 4th. And it was like any other day between us. It was so great that we even like lost track of time. Meaning that it was almost time for the BM to come home. And although she knew about me, he would answer my phone calls when she was around, text me. There was one day, one awkward as fuck day that she actually answered his phone, which was fucking so weird. So it's not like I was hidden, but at the same time, like he wasn't trying to be, quote, disrespectful. That's what he would always tell me. Like, it's not that I'm hiding you, Christina. I'm also just trying to be respectful. Like, I'm not trying to throw you in her face. And I believed it. I respect it. It didn't bother me until it did. And it bothered me later on that day. So we go to the pool. We're hanging out. Somehow we get on a conversation with my grandmother. And, he's trying to basically have me, like, do a fucking meditation, try to see if I can see her, talk about the funeral. And I'm like, I'm so skeptical, but I'm still going with what he's telling me to do. And then the phone rings. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I gotta get this. Right off the bat, I already know who it is. He answers his phone. He's not like fucking, like, oh, the phone doesn't exist when I'm with you, baby. No. But if it's not like family or his best friend, he doesn't necessarily answer the phone calls unless it's the mother of his children. Because, duh, obviously, right? And I'm sitting there like, for whatever reason he thinks it's commendable that he like increases the volume of his phone so then like he tries to give me reassurance that like, oh, if you think I cared like about her, do you think I would have the volume up so loud so you could hear? He's told me that numerous times and I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess. It's very important that I have to say, besides this day, I don't really ever remember feeling like I was a side chick. I don't ever feel like he disrespected me in order to like save face or anything of like that. Any negative adjective you want to use here, I did not feel like that. So, like I said, we're at the pool. He's trying to meditate. He's on the phone with homegirl, and they are talking about whether or not she's gonna come pick him up before she picks up her son. And they keep going back and forth, like, well, whatever you want to do, it's fine. Oh, well, do you want to do it? Whatever you want to do, what do you want to do it? Just that stupid fucking shit. Oh, and as I'm like listening, I felt very much like one Why do you need to call him and like go get your son? Why do you have to pick him up? Just go get your son. Just go get your son and come home. Like, why is that so hard? And I'm pissed. I'm like, I'm not understanding this. And I'm not saying anything out loud. I'm just in my head. And I'm just sitting there feeling like a fucking dummy, sis. Like, in that moment, I felt like I wasted 5 years of my life. And how stupid was I to believe anything he's ever told me? So I got up and I left. He said something, I don't even remember because I was just leaving. And as soon as I walked past where the entrance of the pool was, I instantly started crying. Because I just felt so fucking rejected. I felt so minuscule. I felt like I wasn't important. He's made it seem like I was important. I'm talking about that same day he's telling me like he loves me, I'm his girl. And I looked at him like, nigga, no, you're not. I want to be your girl, but you don't really want me to be your girl. Oh, Christina, don't say that. Whatever fucking slick shit he said. Yeah, I just left the pool crying, just like devastated. And then what did my silly ass do? The very next day, I went to go get some weed from him. And I hit him up. And he was like, oh yeah, come through. I'm like, okay. And he was like, be here for 6. And I was like, cool, I can do that. I'm out doing Uber Eats. Messaged him and I'm like, oh hey, by the way, like I didn't realize how far this last delivery was, so I'm gonna be there like 6:15. He's like, okay, bet. Just call me. So I get to his my life is comical. I get to his motherfucking house, sis, and I call him. There's no fucking answer. Now, he's expecting me. It's not like I randomly came over. I have never done that ever. Unless it was at his old house when like we were literally on the verge of like being in a relationship. After I hang up, I'm gonna say like 45 seconds passed. And then I get a text message from him letting me know that he's down the street. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not thinking anything of it. Until, I don't know, the spirit of bitter women everywhere sat on my soul. And I just knew, fuck, he's with her right now. And that's why he didn't answer my phone call. I really am the side chick. After what happened at the pool, and the very next day, I get another reason why I need to leave this man alone. Oh, it gets better. Then he comes, and and I was right. I see the BM holding the baby. They go inside, and then he comes to my window, hands me the stuff, and walks away. Doesn't talk to me. He doesn't even fucking look at me. Does not acknowledge me at all. Like I'm like a stranger or some shit. And I was just so baffled that I was just trying to get my tears from not falling anywhere where he could see me. And by the time I got to that stop sign right outside the apartment complex, sis, I was bawling my eyes out. Just bawling like, oh goodness. After I cried for about a good solid 10 minutes, you know what I realized, sis? I kept showing up for someone who couldn't even show up for himself. I kept hoping that if I loved him right, if I stayed, if I was down for him through every high and low, that eventually You'll see me as the one. But love isn't something you earn by endurance. And if somebody only loves you when it's convenient for them, that's not love. That's access. The biggest lesson I had to learn was this: I don't have to fight for a seat at a table I helped build. And I definitely do not have to keep proving my worth to someone who's unsure about mine. I had to unlearn the idea that being loyal means staying through anything, even when it's hurting me. I had to unlearn the need to feel chosen when I hadn't even truly chosen myself. And I had to stop fantasizing about what we could be and get real about what we actually were. Sis, sometimes the history, the memories, the soul ties, they all scream louder than the reality. But your peace, oh, your peace has to speak even louder. So now I choose me, not out of pride, not out of anger, but because I finally understand that real love doesn't require me to shrink or to chase or to beg or to plead. Real love will meet me where I am, fully, intentionally, without confusion, and honestly, most importantly in my eyes, even through hard obstacles. And that's the love I deserve. And that's the love that I won't settle less for. And if you're waiting on someone, sis, to finally see your worth, ask yourself, do you? Because that's where the healing really starts. That's it for today, sis. If this episode hit home, just know you're not weak for loving someone deeply. However, there does come a time when loving yourself has to be louder than hoping they'll change. Unlearning survival modes means recognizing when we're stuck in circles that feel familiar but aren't actually safe. It means honoring our truth even when it hurts, and choosing peace even when our hearts wants to run back to chaos. If you have ever been someone's almost or their comfort zone, but never their commitment, I see you. I was you. But we don't have to stay there anymore, sis. Thank you for walking with me on this journey. If you're ready to keep doing the work, keep tuning in. New episodes drop every Monday, and Unlearning Survival Mode series drops Fridays. So make sure you subscribe. Until next time, choose you, sis, every single time.